I was recently working with a client, meticulously going through his home, preparing it for sale. As we were working through our process, I figured out that this home had the original sewer line in it and a home that was 50 years old. So I encouraged him to do a sewer line scope or even to buy a sewer line insurance. I know most people haven't heard of sewer line insurance, but it's usually pretty cost effective. They generally offer it through your water and sewer company, and the cost is extremely low, especially in comparison to having to replace a sewer line. Unfortunately, this homeowner chose to pass on getting the line scoped, and he forgot to buy the sewer line insurance. Then, just after the listing process, went under contract and his sewer main started leaking, causing a huge mess and creating some expensive delays. Hello everyone, I'm Mark Huntington with the Huntington Group. Over the years, I've helped hundreds of homeowners save money on repairs by helping them properly prepare for their inspection. Now, it wasn't that long ago that you could toss your house on the market and someone would make an offer sight unseen with $10,000 in non-refundable earnest money. In today's market where supply and demand are in more balance, you have to really put some effort into preparing your home to sell. So today, I'm going to share my top 10 tips on how to pass your home inspection with the least amount of hassle possible. Issue number 1, unqualified inspectors. A common problem for homeowners is when buyers pick unlicensed, unqualified home inspectors. Not all home inspectors are created equal. In fact, I've seen buyers bring their landscaper buddy or a family member who's a contractor. The problem with this is that if they get bad information, they're going to likely be coming back and asking for unnecessary things. Their buyer agent will ask for things that, for example, may be completely unnecessary. There may be a mechanical system that works just fine and it's within its service life, but someone who doesn't know the difference might scare the buyer into insisting on repairs that aren't required. This can lead to disagreements in negotiations, and this is where things can break down and a contract can fall apart. Pro tip number 1, if the buyer's agent asks you to pay for repairs, request a copy of the home inspection report before you agree to do anything. Issue number 2, buyers and their agents overreaching in negotiations. Some buyer's agents believe that their job is to battle with the seller or the seller's agent to get as many concessions or repairs as possible at all costs. This might sound good to you as a home buyer. After all, you want an agent that's working hard for your best interests and saves you money and gets you the best deal possible, right? Wrong. And as a rule of thumb, fighting to win concessions that just aren't warranted doesn't make a better deal for the buyer, and it's a clumsy way to negotiate. If a buyer's agent overreacts, the seller and their agent are more likely to slam the door and refuse to do any repairs. This can lead to an intractable situation where the deal falls apart and the sale gets canceled. I've seen cases where an agent will let their own personal feelings dictate how they negotiate. Negotiating a professional real estate contract based on your own personal emotions is just never a good idea. An experienced agent will understand what repairs they can get the seller to do and will be able to finesse the negotiations. Now, it's been my experience that inexperienced agents doing their first few transactions don't always handle the post-inspection negotiations very well. Pro tip number 2, if basic things like water heaters, appliances, or furnaces are at the end of their service life but still in good working order, offer to pay for the buyer's home warranty. This way, the buyers can feel confident and sellers don't have to worry because if something goes wrong after the closing, they'll have a warranty to cover it. Issue number 3, crawl spaces and attics. Crawl spaces almost always have issues, so you should always thoroughly check and inspect all crawl spaces and get up into the attic and look around before you list your home for sale. Inspectors will go on the roof, in the attic, or in crawl spaces. And if there are any issues or are water leaks with insulation or cracks in the foundation, this is where they will be found. And you don't want to discover any of this after the home is listed and under contract. Make sure that access to all the attic spaces, the crawl spaces is cleared out and easy to get to. We once had a home inspector go into a crawl space on a house with a brand new, newly remodeled bathroom. It was a beautiful bathroom, it was permitted, everything looked great, but the shower drain wasn't properly connected to the sewer pipe. And when the shower was being used, water was draining down directly into the crawl space. And this work had been, like I said, had been inspected and permitted. So before you list your home for sale, prepare for a home inspector to be crawling over every inch of your property. Pro tip number 3, you can contact a roofing company prior to listing your home and get a roof certification. For a nominal fee, a reputable local roofing company can inspect your roof and provide a certification as to the condition of your roof. Now, this is especially useful if your roof is a little bit older, but still within its service life. This will give you a clean bill of health. Issue number 4, drainage issues. A major concern for home inspectors is erosion, especially on sloped lots and negative grades on foundations where the ground around the home can slope towards the house. The home inspector will look for areas that could have signs of water damage or that could cause future water damage. Inadequate drainage can be devastating over time, and over the long term, a problem can happen so slowly that homeowners often don't realize there's a problem until the damage has already occurred. A relatively simple fix for this is to check all the flashings and the rain gutters and check the downspouts that come off of the rain gutters. Make sure they're all properly extended. Pro tip number 4, the key is to hire a good agent who can help you categorize the most important issues that are really going to affect the outcome and who's experienced enough to be able to anticipate problems and issues before they arise. Issue number 5, radon and meth. A meth test, or methamphetamine residue test, is a specialized evaluation that checks for the presence of methamphetamine residues within a property. Methamphetamine is a potent, highly addictive drug. When it's cooked, or even if it's smoked just one time, it will leave a permanent residue in the property. This permanent residue leaves harmful substances on surfaces and in the air that are toxic. Now, I've had this come up way more than you might imagine. People from all walks of life have had to deal with this issue. I recently had a client who was an affluent doctor. It was only after their home went under contract that the presence of meth was detected. Apparently, one of their teenage sons had a friend over who had smoked it in the basement. Once again, if meth is smoked even once, it can leave a permanent residue that's expensive to fix. If a property tests positive for meth, it's legally required to be decontaminated before it can be sold. In fact, if a home inspector gets a positive reading above the legal threshold, he is required to report this to the county health department, who will literally swoop in, mark your home as contaminated, and make you evacuate the premises until an approved meth remediation company detoxifies the home. So, if you're selling a property, particularly a property that you are not the first owner of, you should perform a meth test before you list the home for sale. Not only will this protect future buyers, but it can also protect you as the seller. For about $70, you can buy a meth test and take the samples and send them to the lab yourself. If it comes back with no traces of meth, then your home has a clean bill of health. If it comes back above the legal threshold, then you'll have a grace period where you can contact a meth remediation company before the health department swoops in and shuts down your home. Another invisible danger that home sellers should be aware of is radon gas. The radon gas test is an assessment to determine the concentration of radon gas, which is a naturally occurring radioactive gas that's invisible, odorless, and tasteless. It emanates from the decay of uranium that's naturally found in soil and rocks. This gas can seep into homes through cracks in the foundation, and if trapped, can accumulate to harmful levels over time. If you plan to sell your home, conducting a radon test is also a critical step to take, and a brilliant idea. First, just like with meth tests, many buyers are going to require a radon test as part of their inspections. Second, performing a radon test allows you to make sure that your home is safe for the new buyer, and it also mitigates any possible liability that you might have. If elevated radon levels are found, you can install a radon mitigation system for a reasonable amount. Now, these are just 5 of the strategies that we cover in my full report, the top 10 home inspection pitfalls, that we cover in our free report, the top 10 home inspection pitfalls. You can download the entire report by clicking the link below. And check out our other videos on how to prepare your home to sell for the most amount of money possible. And if you'd like to see a video about different negotiation strategies in changing market conditions, you can view that by clicking here. Please remember to like this video, check out the links below, and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss anything.